when you only have 3 ingredients, you have to make sure those 3 ingredients are done perfect.
Poutine is French fries, cheese curds, and gravy. 3 ingredients, but for some reason, when I've had it, it's down in the States, it's always missed the mark.
So Matt and I met in college. We decided that we really liked food and we wanted to be our own bosses. Myself being from Canada, saw there was a gap in the market for Canadian cuisine and poutine specifically, so we figured a food truck was a great way to get that kind of food out there.
It's 3 o'clock in the morning up in Toronto while I was visiting her, and we stopped at a poutinerie. There was one on each block. Each one of them have a line out the door. And once I ate it, even though I was in the culinary, like the food field, I have never eaten it. This was, 10 years ago. And I was upset with myself for not having it all those years. And yeah, it was just like it was just fireworks.
It's everywhere in Canada. You can find it at McDonald's now, apparently. So it originated in Quebec, in Montreal, and so it's a native dish to that region, but I'm from Toronto. My grandparents are French-Canadian, so I grew up still eating poutine, and it's very much a national dish at this point, I would say. Matt is the chef or the cook. He does most of the culinary aspect of things. He manages the ordering for the truck, any kind of like food-related tasks, cleaning of the food truck, the restaurant, managing the staff as far as like the kitchen goes.
My day ended at 1 a.m. yesterday, and it started at 7 a.m. today. It's a grind. It's getting up, coffee, then making sure I have the keys for the truck, and starting from there, like those little things, just those tiny little things that we forget. It's checking, double checking, triple checking, lugging all those potatoes.
I do all the behind the scenes mostly, except today I'm on the truck, but so I'll do payroll, all the social media marketing, I book all the events, I communicate with vendors as far as like breweries, festivals, getting permits. The permit process can be very complicated depending on which city you're in. Everyone has their own rules, so I have to be familiar with all those, making sure everybody's up to date with inspections, fire inspections, health inspections.
Probably like a little sweet because of the cheese curds.
It's like a good spicy, a good spicy flavor. Some crispy French fries, the salty cheese, the gravy on top. It's just a delight for the senses, all the different textures. Yes.
You have umami, you have the richness of the cheddar cheese, you have the saltiness of the fry, and it's like jazz where it's like it all comes together and it works.
People tend to know what the ingredients are. The cheese curds the hardest part, so French fries, cheese curds, and gravy. Most people enjoy those 3 things individually, so you tell them that you're putting it all together in a box. They're like, okay, and you're putting bacon on it? Like, let's go. They might be nervous at first, and we'll like kind of talk them into they'll say like, I don't know if I want the gravy or the cheese. We're like, just try the whole thing. If you don't like it, like, we'll give you your money back. And we watch them walk away, and they typically come back and say like, this is so amazing, like, thank you so much. So that's really cool.
While I was creating the gravy early on, I was giving it out to my friends and family, having them over to eat so that they can taste it and tell me what's wrong with it. We were figuring out names. We went through like 20 names and they were all horrible. And then one day we were eating with my parents and we were talking about names, and it was late fall 2016, and a flock of geese flew over. and then it just all hit. So Canadian geese, flying a V formation. I was born in '85, so the Mighty Ducks were a huge thing. And my last name is Vimazal. It starts with a V. So.
Our menu is pretty basic on the food truck. We just basically do poutine. So today we're actually doing some sandwiches for this event. They specifically asked for that, but the restaurant has more. We're able to do more at the restaurant. Usually the food truck is just fries and then different variations of poutines.
We have our Montreal smoked meat poutine, and you have, it's like a pastrami, like Katz's Deli, but with a little bit of a Canadian twist, and Dijon and pickles on top of classic poutine.
We have 2 fryers. We wish we had to put 3 fryers in because that's our hardest thing, is keeping up with fries. We have a flat top griddle to heat up meats, 2 burners to heat up our gravy, and then a steam table to keep everything hot during service. So it's pretty limited. It's not very complicated, but
we have a solid team. It's like you don't even have to think about where the other person is, but it's intense. You know, the fryers are always going. The grill is always slapping. We call it the QB, just shouting out the names of the poutines that need to be made, and then they're assembling it. And then the front person's, you know, just being the Canadian life, you know, nice as pie.
it can be intense, especially for us. We have very large lines usually, so don't look up sometimes, just keep looking down, because as soon as you look up and you can't see the end of the line, you might get a little anxious, so you just gotta focus and keep going, looking at the tickets and just getting everything out one at a time properly. It's very cramped, but the way that we have it laid out is very strategic so that we don't have to move around much. Like, you shouldn't have to move more than a step or two. So each person has their station and they're focused on that specific task, whether it's taking orders, making fries, or just like building each thing. So it can get cramped, but you're not having to pass back and forth. But you should not be claustrophobic, and you gotta be able to handle the heat, especially in the summer.
It's a new thing every single day. Even when I forget something and I have to pivot on how I do things, it's like it's always a puzzle that needs to be solved. It's fast-paced, and I get to cook.
I love how fun it is. It's just every day's different. I enjoy a job that continues to keep you moving, and you never get bored. Every day is a new location. We get to have fun with the menu and create different recipes, be creative, get involved in the community, meet all types of new people. Our customers are amazing. We get to meet a ton of Canadian customers, and that always feels really good to make them have that nostalgic feeling as soon as they have a bite of poutine.